There's renewed backlash against the host of the FIFA Men's World Cup, Qatar, and we're less than 2 weeks before the tournament begins. LGBTQ activists are outraged after one of the event's ambassadors made anti-gay comments.
We are demanding from FIFA, from the Qatari government, that LGBT plus football fans who travel to Qatar to enjoy the sport are safe and protected and can be their authentic selves.
That group is saying FIFA needs to hold host countries accountable for their human rights record. Qatar's record has been criticized because of its strict laws. Homosexuality is illegal because it's considered immoral under Islamic law. Abby Kugathasan has more from London today.
Heather, the controversy around this World Cup really began 12 years ago from the moment Qatar was awarded the tournament. And fresh outrage now, as you say, after a former Qatari player and now World Cup ambassador Khalid Salman spoke with the German public broadcaster ZDF. When he was asked about homosexuality being illegal in his country, Salman said fans must follow the rules when they're in the Gulf state. Other officials from his country have made similar remarks in the past, but he went on.
But do you think gay is haram?
It's haram. Because why is haram? I am not one big Muslim, but it's haram. Why? Because it's damaging the mind.
Now, a spokesperson steps in and interrupts the interview, as you can see there. Before that, we heard Salman say being homosexual is haram, forbidden in Islam. But it's the, quote, damage in the mind statement that's drawn sharp criticism. Human Rights Watch called his comments harmful and unacceptable. Recently, the organization has said that security forces in Qatar were arbitrarily arresting and abusing LGBTQ+ residents. Doha has denied this. Now, we know the captains of England and Wales are expected to wear One Love armbands when they play their matches in the country. We have seen the Australian team recently release a video raising their concerns not only about gay people in the country, but also about the foreign workers who've died building stadiums and roads for this World Cup. We know the Danes have one kit that's black to mourn those lives lost. And Amnesty International has said thousands of foreign workers, migrant workers, have died in the country, and investigations there are weak in nature, Heather.
So that is the fresh controversy, Abby. Adding to voices of criticism, the former president of FIFA, Sepp Blatter, who has actually said that the country should never have been awarded hosting rights.
Yeah, Sepp Blatter was FIFA president for nearly 2 decades, and 12 years ago, he was the one who announced Qatar as the 2022 host country. There were accusations that bribery and fraud had led to that decision, but now, as the World Cup is set to kick off this month in the Middle East for the first time, Blatter says it was not the right call, but he didn't link it to human rights in any way. Let's have a listen.
It's a big organization which needs also a big country. Qatar is too small to do that. I said to myself, I was right at a certain time to say we should not go there.
Now, for him, it's about soccer being showcased on a bigger stage. He says back then he voted for the U.S. to host the tournament. Blatter also said that FIFA now takes human rights into account when selecting host nations. Now, we have to remember the 86-year-old faced fraud charges in another matter. He was cleared by a Swiss court earlier this year after a 7-year investigation. But again, as Qatar faces criticism, so too does FIFA for delivering this tournament to the country in the first place. And FIFA's current president, Gianni Infantino, just this month called on teams to focus on football and reportedly asked them not to be dragged into every ideological battle that exists. Critics say the governing body of the beautiful game, once again, trying to function and profit within a vacuum, and that human rights should not be separated from sport, Heather.
Abby, thank you. That's Abby Kugathasan in London.